Hey everybody, I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and you are on the lifeboat. I was just talking about you. I don't know whether it was this morning or whether it was yesterday, Nick, but I was just talking about you. This one isn't going to be a long one, people, because I've got a show I've got to go do on the other platform. But this is important, and it came up about 6 or 7 times in the last 24 hours. Dennis N., good to see you, brother. Honestly, this came up so many times in the last 24 hours that there's just no way not to do a video on this. It's not going to be a long one, but it's an important one. And you know what? I'm winding my watch. And the last time I did this, I freaked somebody out. And they were like, what the hell is that noise? This is me winding a pocket watch. So here's the deal, people. Thank you, Nick. We talk all of the time, and I say, there are things that we emphasize on the lifeboat that there's just no way around getting around. Right? The journaling thing is absolutely huge. You're not going to get what you want out of life if you're not journaling. Plain and simple, right? End of story. If you're here and you're a normie, or if you're here and you're trying to get sober, regardless, you're going to be putting pen to paper a lot if you have any hope whatsoever of being a success, right? Plain and simple. That's it. In a nutshell, there it goes. Now, if you happen to be here and you are not a normie, if you are one of us, right, one of the few, the unfortunate, those of us that have this disease of addiction, if you are one of those individuals, you are going to get 5 people that you have in a contact list. These people know that they are your contact list. They know that you might call them at 1 o'clock in the morning, freaking out, and they're just going to pick up the phone and go, hey, how you doing? There's not going to be that. Do you know what time it is? No, they understand the concept of what you're getting yourself into. They understand that you're going into recovery. That's why very often it's a pretty decent idea to get some people that understand the concept of recovery. They don't necessarily have to be in recovery, but it sure as hell helps if they've got a pretty good idea of what it means to try to put all this crap in their rearview mirror. But you got to get your 5. And if you say, I have no idea how to do it, well, then you're not putting much of an effort in. I'm not trying to be a dick, but we need to keep this real. You getting 5 people in a group of 5 or 6,000 should not be terribly difficult. Now, it does require a little bit of effort, right? Go over to the Facebook page. Miss me with that I hate Facebook crap. I don't like Facebook either, right? I don't friend people. I don't, none of that garbage. I haven't done anything on Facebook in years, but I go to the lifeboat page. It is a safe harbor. It is not just a safe harbor from, YouTube. It's a safe harbor from Facebook. Right? It is a members only site. There are not people wandering on there, but it is an excellent place for people to meet one another and then direct message that individual and say, hey, how you doing? My name is Tommy. My drug of choice was opiates. I did it for about 30 years, led to some crime. I've got 8 years of sobriety under my belt, and this is where I'm heading. And I'm putting together a group of 5 people so that when I have one of those days where I feel like I'm going to go off the rails, I got an email from someone today that said, go ahead and use this story. Just please don't use my name. This individual, after a year, went and had a couple of beers. It's not the end of the world. And to be really honest, the fact that this individual pumped the brakes at a couple of beers, I think is absolutely phenomenal if you want to know the truth, right? I don't know. That's pretty impressive stuff to me. That's when you realize you're making a mistake and you stop what you're doing. That's not normal, right? Normal, we go off the deep end in a way that takes a very long time to recover from in our dome, if not in our body. A lot of times people will go off the rails for weeks, months, right? Horror stories of people who relapsed and drank for 5 or 6 more years before they got it back under control. And I did that with my substance of choice forever. I just kept going one attempt after another, and it never really got legs until the last one, right? Until this most recent one. But I'll tell you something right now. When I'm having a bad day, I call Alan Valentine. That's the first name on my list. I reach out. Actually, what I do is I reach out and I say, call me. Hey man, can you call me? He gets better rates calling from halfway around the world. But if I can't get a hold of Alan, or if it's the wrong time of the night, I go to the next name on my list. I call Johnny. And I have people. I go all the way down the list of individuals. I've got 5 people, man. And I'm in a lot of people's 5s. I wish I could be in everybody's. I really do. It's just not particularly feasible. And it ends up, getting you off into the weeds in places that there's no way to pull back from. But get your 5. Now, if you want to have family members in that group of people, that works fine. If your family members are down, if they understand the concept, hey, I'm trying to get sober. You know what? I might go off the rails. I may think to myself one day, you know what? Today's the day I got to get drunk. And at that point, I need to call you, and I don't need a lecture from you. I just need you to talk to me. And I need you to understand that this is not, although it makes no sense, it makes a hell of a lot of sense to me, right? In my damaged brain, we're different people. There's no getting around it. If you want to sugarcoat that, you can all you'd like. We're very, very different, right? We have a disease, and this disease is one of the most fascinating things in the world, because it's the only disease known to man that tells you you don't have a disease, right? If today you got diagnosed with something and they said, hey, you got a rare lung thing, and this is pretty serious stuff. If you don't get down to the hospital and get some treatments, and I'm talking about every 8 hours, you're going to need antibiotics. There's a lot of things that they're going to have to do. But if you don't start this today, there's a really good chance you're going to die. Man, you wouldn't even hear the end of that sentence, right? Like the cartoons, there'd be a big puff of smoke and you're gone. You'd be at that hospital before the end of the sentence, right? Blowing red lights, going around corners, because your life depended on it. But I have that conversation with 15 people a day, every day. Hey, man, you're killing yourself, and you're playing Russian roulette. The drugs that you're doing right now are killing people at the rate of between 350 and 500 people a day. And this is what you're getting high on every single day. And they go, yeah, I know. I can't stop. Right? Or worse. Yeah, dude, I know. And she's freaking out because very often somebody brings somebody to me. You know what I mean? As often as somebody reaches out and says, Tommy, is there any chance that I can talk to you about my drug problem? Just as often I get someone that says, hey, will you talk to my significant other? If I can get them on the phone with you, will you talk to my daughter if I can get her on the phone with you? And I do these, right? One after the other. I do them one after the other. And a lot of times you hear people say, well, yeah, I mean, yes, I've been getting high every day for 2 years, but I don't have a problem. I really don't. Like, I could stop at any point. It's just that this is how I choose. I mean, we did this, right? A lot of us did this to ourselves. We're just delusional as hell, right? The only disease out there that tells you you don't have a disease, or that you can handle this disease. You don't need treatment. You got this under control. What you're going to do is you're going to back it off a notch, right? Instead of me getting up first thing in the morning and starting to smoke dope, I'm not doing that until after lunch. And if I can hold off until after lunch, then I will prove, right? I will prove I got this licked. I got this under control. And I won't do more than 2 bowls the entire day. That's it. So that when I go home at the end of the day, I can get some rest. But I need this stuff in order to work. We do this. We set these boundaries for ourselves, and we set these rules for ourselves, and then we just destroy them, right? We crush them. We don't listen to a freaking word of them. And then we set new rules, because those were a little unrealistic anyway. So it's cool if I smoke in the morning, right? And it doesn't matter how much dope I smoke, as long as at the end of the day, I'm cool to go to sleep. As long as it's not turning into a runner, where I'm a week awake or whatever. And then that turns into, you know what? I can do a couple of days, right? There's no problem if I do 2 days awake. But if I start going any longer than that, I did this crap. I did it for 3 decades. I'd set up these stupid rules that were going to somehow make it so that I could now control a substance that I have absolutely no control over. A substance that if I live to be 10,000 years old, I will never have control over this. Jimmy Neutron. Jimmy Neutron. He loves a little of the snoot. You know what? We're not necessarily an anti-drug channel here, my friend. If you have it under control, knock yourself out. I don't much care. Well, honestly, I don't. It's addiction that we fight here, and that really is the what this channel has always been about. We don't like seeing people enslaved to anything or anyone, and that's kind of always been the lifeboat. But if you haven't got your 5 people, get over there. Get over there. Start direct messaging people. Start, the other thing is, if you're like, I'm not doing that, then go and leave a message on a comment that somebody left on one of the other videos. hey, I'm trying to get a hold of you. I'm trying to put together my 5. And very often you guys can figure it out. Sometimes people reach out to me and say, hey, can you pass this number on to so-and-so? I take a screenshot. I send it over. I mean, there are ways that we can do this, but you have to make an effort. You absolutely, truthfully have to make an effort. This is not something that it's not going to do it on its own. You have to get involved in this. And if you have any desire whatsoever of actually beating this, well, then you're going to have 5 freaking people that you can call, so that no matter what happens in today's day and age, with all the different ways we can get a hold of somebody, and texting them and emailing them and calling them or whatever, and we have these things on us, they're never not on us. So if you've got 5 people, I promise you're never going to say, I called all 5, texted all 5. I couldn't get one of them on the horn, so I went out and bought some booze. It's never going to happen. I mean, you could lie and say it does, but you'll get one of those 5 on the phone, especially if they know someone that someone from their 5 is calling. I mean, I take that crap serious. I know the other people on the boat do. You see a name and it's somebody that you have said, I'm here for you if you're in trouble, right? If you find yourself in a pinch and you think you're about to go do something stupid, I'm the person that you can call. You put that kind of commitment out, those people answer the phone and they're serious as hell about it, right? They're ready to ask questions and they're ready to listen and they're ready to hang out on the phone for as long as necessary. I'm telling you, people, I have spent 7 or 8 hours on the phone with somebody to get them through, until the dope man closed, right? Until there was no longer any hope of them buying anything. And, if we get them through that day, I don't think it's one of those things that you don't realize early on in recovery. But so often to get through the really dark period is just a matter of getting through about 5 or 10 minutes, hanging in there long enough. Sometimes it takes hours, but when the sun comes up the next day, it's always different. And people are always so damn excited that they didn't screw up. So happy that they got through that dark time. And that's what the 5 is about. It's about you being there for other people, and it's about other people being there for you. And that connection that we're always talking about, right? It's the opposite of addiction. It's connection. This is the connection that we're always talking about. It's not going to come calling. You have to put out a little bit of an effort in order to find 5 people that are going to be your go-to if things get bad. Plain and simple. That's how it works. Okay. I would love to continue to talk about this because it's a really important subject. Maybe we'll touch on it on another video, but I do have some work to do on the other platform. So much love to all of you. So I'll see some of you over there on the other platform. Listen, get 5 people in a support group. If you say, man, that's really hard, Tommy, well, then go get 1 and we'll build from there. But start building this support group. This is no joke. This is not, right? These aren't guidelines, right? These aren't recommendations. These are, you want to stay sober. You're going to have 5 people you can call when you think you're about to do something stupid. You're not going to find yourself in a position where you can't get somebody on the horn instantly. Somebody that understands when you say, I'm thinking of just doing it, man. I'm thinking of just saying, screw it. That person will go, okay. Oh, been there. I'll tell me about it. What started this? When did you start feeling a little squirrely? Right? Was this just today? Start asking questions. Start being there. I'm telling you, you'll get as much out of being the person that's there supporting someone as you will the need to have someone there to support you. All of a sudden, knowing that you are the backbone or a part of the backbone of somebody's sobriety it changes you. That's no joke, people. It will absolutely change who you are, and it will change it for the better. And get involved, right? Don't just stick your toe in. You're going to do this sobriety thing, man. Go hard. Go hard to the pain. All the rewards that you hear people talking about, those don't come from removing the chemical. Those come from changing your life, right? Follow the map. It's worked for a lot of people. Follow the damn map, right? The number of people on this boat that have been saved because they had a list of 5 people is astounding, right? If I created this, I would tell you to run, but I didn't create this. All right, peeps. I am Captain Tommy Scoville. This is the lifeboat. I'll see some of you in a little bit. The rest of you will see this evening at 5 o'clock right here. Same squirrel time, same squirrel channel. See you.